His tongue was still inside me when I whispered my late husband's name. Rick froze. The room, once filled with hot moans and tangled sheets, fell into a silence, so loud it felt like thunder. "I am sorry," I mumbled, my legs still trembling from the orgasm he had just given me. I still think about him." He pulled out slowly, that damn 14-inch monster of his glistening with my shame.
He did not speak.
He just looked at me, his best friend's widow, like I was a woman he both wanted and hated. I pulled the sheet over my bare chest, my heart pounding. What am I doing? What kind of woman am I to let my dead husband's best friend break me night after night like this? But the worst part was not that we did it. The worst part was, I never wanted him to stop. And if you think this ends with love, you are wrong. Because last night, I found something on his phone that made my blood run cold. Before I tell you what I saw, let me pause for just a second to thank you all for being here. To my loyal subscribers, thank you so much for staying with me on this wild, emotional ride. And to my new viewers, or those of you watching who have not subscribed yet, I truly cannot wait for you to hit that button. Your likes, comments, and shares are the very fuel that keeps this channel alive and burning. So please, take a moment to engage. Tell me what you think in the comments, and hit that subscribe button.
All right.
Now let me take you back to how this all began. My name is Hazel. I am 58 years old. I live in a small, quiet town in Wyoming where the nights are long and the loneliness is even longer. Terrence, my husband, died just 10 months ago. Cancer ate him up so fast, I barely had time to say goodbye. He was my everything, my partner of 30 years, my safe place, my best friend. And right beside him during the entire journey, from diagnosis to the funeral, was Rick, his best friend since college. Rick was at the hospital when Terrence took his last breath. He held me while I screamed and shook. He poured my whiskey when the silence at home got too loud.
He was
comfort. And for a long time, that was all he was. Just the man who knew what my husband meant to me. But grief is a strange drug. It clouds the lines. It makes you crave warmth where you should feel guilt. And one night, while sitting by the fireplace, wrapped in silence and bourbon, Rick looked at me differently. "Hazel," he said, "you deserve to feel alive again." Then he kissed me. It was not slow or soft. It was full of hunger, like he had waited years for that moment. My heart said no, but my body said, finally. I did not stop him. Maybe I should have. But when he carried me upstairs like I weighed nothing, when he pulled down his jeans and revealed that thing, 14
solid
inches, I gasped. Even Terrence, God rest his soul, never made me feel that kind of stretch. I moaned his name until my throat hurt. I rode the waves of my own lust like a woman who had been starving. And when it was over, I cried into his chest. "This feels wrong," I whispered. He held me tighter. "Then why does it feel like the only thing that makes sense?" We made love. Again. And again. Every night for weeks. Until last night. I picked up his phone while he was in the shower. I was looking for music. But a message popped up. It was from someone named Jenna. And all it said was, "Does she know you are only doing this to get back at Terrence?" My blood turned to ice. What the hell does that mean? I sat there, on the edge of Rick's bed, gripping his phone like it had just burned me. My heart was beating so loud I could barely hear the shower anymore. That message, "Does she know you are only doing this to get back at Terrence?" was not something I could ignore. I had just let this man bend me, stretch me, break me into the kind of orgasm I had only read about in erotic novels. My knees were still weak. My thighs were sore. My lips tasted like him. And yet here I was, choking on the possibility that none of it was real. When he walked out of the bathroom, towel low on his hips, steam rising off his skin, I looked him dead in the eye and asked, "Who is Jenna?" He blinked. His body tensed. But he did not lie. "She is my sister," he said flatly. I narrowed my eyes. And what did she mean by that message? He sighed and dropped onto the bed next to me, running a hand through his wet hair. "I need to tell you something, Hazel," he said, voice thick. "Something I should have told you a long time ago." Rick leaned forward, his elbows on his knees, staring at the floor like it held the words he was too afraid to say. "I was in love with you," he said, "for years. Even before Terrence got sick. Even when the three of us would go fishing or cook out in the backyard. I would look at you and hate myself for the thoughts I had." I swallowed hard, my mouth suddenly dry. "You loved me, while your best friend was alive?" I asked. He nodded, shame all over his face. "I never acted on it. I swear to God, Hazel. But when he died and I saw you fall apart, something in me snapped. I told Jenna how angry I was at Terrence, not because he died, but because he got to love you, touch you, have you, when I never could." He turned to me. "I am not using you, but I did want you. I still do. This, us, it started out twisted, maybe, but I am not pretending anymore." I stood up, angry and confused. "So, you slept with me because you envied your best friend?" "No," he growled, standing with me, his chest just inches from mine. "I slept with you because I am obsessed with you. I need you, and I do not care if it makes me a bastard." He grabbed my waist and pushed me gently against the wall. "You hate me?" he whispered. I did not answer. "You want me to stop?" Still silent. "Then say it." He kissed me hard. His tongue took control of mine. His fingers slid between my legs. I slapped his hand away. But only once. The second time, I let him touch me. We made love right there, against the wall. It was violent, messy, soaked with emotion I could not name. My body betrayed every ounce of conscience I had left. I let that 14-inch beast split me open while I cried out the name of the man he claimed to love like a brother. I hated myself, but I craved him even more. After, as I lay in his arms, he whispered something that made my blood freeze again. "I would have killed to be the one you married." That night, when I returned home, I opened my old laptop. I had not touched it in months, but something kept clawing at me. I typed Terrence's name in the search bar. I was just looking for photos, maybe a memory to make me feel less like a whore. But instead, I found an email. It was sent to himself, and it was dated just 3 weeks before he died. Subject line: Rick, the friend I do not trust. My hand trembled as I clicked on it. I did not even get past the first paragraph before my stomach turned. "Hazel," it began, "if you are reading this, I am probably gone. And there is something I need you to know about Rick." I read the first line of Terrence's email over and over again, as if the words would rearrange themselves and mean something else. "Hazel, if you are reading this, I am probably gone. And there is something I need you to know about Rick." I clutched my chest, already feeling my stomach twist into knots. The room felt cold. My body, still sore from Rick's touch just hours earlier, now burned with shame. "That I have watched him watch you." That was the second line. Simple, direct, but heavy enough to make my breath hitch. The way he stares at you when he thinks I am not looking. The way he tries to help whenever you are around. "Hazel, I love you and I trust you. But I do not trust Rick." I covered my mouth to muffle a sob. "He is not just my best friend. He is also a man who has wanted what I had for years. He told me once, when we were drunk, that if I died, he would gladly take over. Those were his words. He laughed, and I brushed it off. But I never forgot it. I stood up from the couch. My knees were weak. My hands were shaking. All this time, while I was grieving, while I was searching for comfort, I had walked right into the arms of the man my husband feared most. Suddenly, memories rushed in like a flood. I remembered the night before Terrence's final surgery. He had asked me, quietly, "Promise me something?" I smiled and said yes, not even thinking. "Do not let Rick get too close," he had whispered. "Not when I am gone." I had thought it was the drugs talking, but now I knew better. I sat back down, the email still open, my chest rising and falling rapidly. What the hell had I done? Yes, Rick gave me back the fire in my veins. Yes, his touch had made me feel alive again. But it was a fire built on ashes. I had betrayed the ghost of a man who only wanted to protect me. Worse, I had let his best friend bury himself inside me again and again, knowing damn well something was wrong. Rick's words from earlier haunted me. "I would have killed to be the one you married." What if it was not just a fantasy? What if it was a wish he had quietly made? Every single night, while standing beside the hospital bed of the man he envied, I called him. "Hazel," he answered, his voice low and warm. "I read the email," I said. He was silent for a long time. Then, finally, he said, "I figured you would find it." "You used me," I said, barely able to speak. "No," he replied. "I loved you. That part was real."
But you lit.
"Yes," he said, "but only because I did not think I would ever get the chance to have you." "Do not come to my house again," I whispered. "We are done." "But Hazel," I ended the call, and I cried, not just for the betrayal, but for the version of myself I had lost in his arms. Grief is not just about missing someone. It is about the silence they leave behind. And in that silence, you will either find peace, or you will fill it with a mistake, wearing a familiar smile. I wanted love. I wanted warmth. I wanted to feel like a woman again. But not like this. Never like this. Now tell me, do you think Hazel made the right decision? Can love born in betrayal ever be real? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe if you felt this story hit a nerve. And remember, sometimes the one who comforts you is the one who is always waiting to hurt you. See you in the next story.